Welcome back. You're watching KTN News Desk. We are having a discussion about what's happening in the county government of Nairobi. The Governor Mike Sonko has suspended three officials, including the Chief of Staff, the Acting Chief Officer in charge of Finance, and the Acting Head of the County Treasury, citing misappropriation of funds pending investigations, of course. We're talking about that, as well as the cabinet reshuffle, another one where we have a fourth CEC in charge of finance. Let's bring in lawyer and political analyst Ishmael Nyaribo to this conversation. Thank you for joining us, Bwana Akili. What is your bird's eye view of what's happening in Nairobi County right now?
Well, I think we have to appreciate our history as a country, and now more specifically as Nairobi. You know, Governor Sonko actually obviously wants to come out as one of the best governors. I mean, he has his own name to protect. He has a political future to, you know, consider. So some people are saying he is acting too fast. But looking at the mess that has been in the City Hall, he definitely is keen to ensure that he's not only cleaning the system, but everybody should have confidence or have a feeling that the governor is indeed serious in trying to clean both internal and external mess that is Nairobi. So it is too quick for me. I cannot judge him. Right. And what I think should be true for all those who aspire to work in City Hall, I mean, this is not your mother's home or you're going to make it your own individual office. I mean, you are given opportunity to work. It may last 5 years, it may last 1 year or 2 weeks. You should work to your best. And it is not true that when you are reshuffled or changed from the finance, it is not correct to assume that the person who has been removed is necessarily corrupt. That I have to correct at my early statement. But any appearance of malpractice entitles the governor to very quickly change you so that he can have somebody there who either he can trust or at least who may not have gotten used to the system of compromise, of compromising, the system.
Or maybe different competencies.
Exactly.
All right.
So, yeah.
What about the issue of, do you think the issue of the fact that he does not have a deputy governor, the polygon, the fallout and all that, do you think it's still haunting the Nairobi governor?
Obviously. You know, this is a governor who cries. You've seen him before, and when he became a governor, he's an emotional person, so he cannot hide behind any mask. We know that he's a man who feels, who is affected by issues around him. So, and you saw he ran all the way to live in Machakos. So definitely, he does not wake up forgetting, without remembering rather, that he doesn't have a deputy governor. He probably is looking for the best fit, but there are powers around him and also from all corners of the country, let's say, or all corners of Nairobi, who are demanding that number 2 choice should be what they want. Right. So he definitely is under pressure to produce the best. And yes, it has affected his performance. That's a fact. All right. If he had somebody like Igade, if they could be able to bond with a professional like Igade, he could have gone so far. So in his next election, he should be careful to appoint a professional, but not just a person in a straitjacket life, right. A person who can understand the Sonko, because Sonko is the governor. You know, you cannot change that. We cannot dismiss it. So let him find somebody who is both professional but amiable and social, who can easily, help the citizens, Nairobians to get their services. All right.
Abel, what do you say to that?
I think I agree to almost 70% of what the lawyer said, and that is the kind of sobriety we'd like to see. When you're looking at the performance of the governor, it's good to be fair. And let me address the issue of the deputy governor. Like he said, the governor is looking for the best fit. There's no need of doing things in haste and then making a mistake. Yeah, at the end of the day, the governor is very keen on getting a deputy governor, and at some point you can say there was pressure, but that pressure is now not there. So he's taking his time, and at the end of the day, it's good to take time, and when you settle on someone, the person turns out to be what you and Nairobians actually want. So the governor is very keen on that. And again, we have to accept. All right. We went to elections. Elections were conducted, and the governor was elected. There's a time to compete and a time to cooperate. The elects of Women have to remember that. All right. It's time to work together to deliver for Nairobians.
All right. Let me take your final comments on this. You have been accused of just criticizing for the sake of criticizing, not very constructive as being part of the previous regime. And somebody did point out that according to the Kenya Constitution 2010, the minority doesn't necessarily mean you have to be opposed to everything that the executive is doing. Are you going to let the governor try to implement some of his programs? Or do you think you're being unfairly accused?
The county government has ensured people he has never employed yet for the last 6 months. So we don't take exception of that. And we say, as opposition, the county assembly, we will not condone corruption, neither will we support anyone who is corrupt. But fighting corruption must be done within perimeters of law. And that's what we are saying. And also we are saying, for the likes of Oyeyo, who are the governor's advisors, us on the where I sit, being a second-term MCA, I feel it's a big job. If those are the kind of advisors we have for this city. And I repeat and say, for us as honorable members of the county assembly, we are going to scrutinize every bit of decision made by the governor. And lastly, Kitili, there's something that we said here. It is not a favor that His Excellency Governor Sonko is giving to Nairobians to give him the deputy governor. This is a constitutional right of Nairobians. As I began by saying, we have 4.5 million Kenyans who reside in Nairobi. I don't expect that Governor Sonko is short of men and women in this capital city. So the issue of the so-called advisor pretending that the governor is still shopping for the best suit for the deputy governor, for us where we sit, in fact, from tomorrow, we're going to give the governor of the city 7 days to appoint one suitable citizen to be the deputy governor of the city. Failure too will proceed to a judicial review in court because the Supreme Court on 9th of March gave advisory to the governor. The governor of Nyeri appointed this deputy. Why us in Nairobi? It's not a favor that Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko is doing to the Nairobians. It is a requirement by the law. So by saying that he's still shopping for the best, that's not right. And Wakil is there, he knows this. This is a constitution. This is a right of Nairobians. It is never and it shall never be a favor. That's why we are saying from tomorrow, we might end up, we are giving up governor 7 days to appoint the deputy governor of this great capital city to assist him at work.
All right, thank you. Mr. Oyeyo, give us your final remarks.
The last time
the county assembly will give the governor 7 days to appoint a deputy.
The last time I was here, I think 3 months ago, with him to give the governor 7 days. So we've been counting, he's still giving him 7 days. At the end of the day, the governor is going to get the kind of person he'd like to have as a deputy governor because he is the governor. He has to get someone, like the lawyer said, he can be able to work with. That is how he can deliver services. And remember, the governor can discharge his functions or services as a governor without necessarily, involving the deputy. So we cannot say, there's a problem with this administration just because there's no deputy governor. Okay? And the governor has not come out and said it's a favor he's doing Nairobians. He understands that. All he has to do is to make sure he takes his time and gets the kind of person who cannot bring problems when, they start to...
Some Nairobians may be feeling they deserve to have a deputy governor and they'll be asking why Nyeri has a deputy governor. Why not Nairobi?
Nairobi is different from Nyeri. We're talking about, like Imotok said, at night Nairobi has 4.5 million people. During the day, 7 million. So Nyeri is different.
Which means you have more people to choose from for deputy governor.
That is okay. But again, it means you have to take a longer time, get the best person who can assist you in service delivery. At the end of the day, remember, the functions of the deputy governor are the ones assigned to him by the governor. So the governor can still work. The governor is working very well even without a deputy governor. That is not a reason to say he's not going to do that. He's actually going to get a deputy governor very, very soon.
Thank you, Abel.
Yes.
Wanawakili, give us your final remarks.
Well,
what's happening?
I think a lot of times when we go for interviews and we have seen this, you are asked, the country needs people who can think very quickly and on their feet. I think the time the Honorable Governor has taken to appoint a deputy governor is actually and honestly quite long. So he should now, and there are so many qualified people. Perhaps what we should say, Ben, both State House and the state and other people are interested in either disrupting or trying to micromanage the county should stop so that the governor can freely, pick the people he likes to work with. But it's high time we should have a deputy governor, and definitely we should have a better Nairobi. Yes.
All right, thank you so much, gentlemen, for being with us on the program this afternoon and sharing those perspectives. Lawyer and political analyst Ishmael Nyaribo and lawyer and political advisor to the Nairobi Governor, Abel Oyeyo. We also did have from our City Center studio, Peter Emotok, the minority leader in the Nairobi County Assembly. Thank you very much. Now, moving on.